Well, the times, they are a-changin', and for the better, if you ask me. Rachel Maddow's done. I'd imagine her career is over, though she just signed a deal for $25 million. Her
Damn!
ratings are so far down in the gutter, I don't know how she recovers from this. So, lady, well, enjoy the money as it comes. Rachel Maddow's MSNBC ratings spiraled down 43%.
Tim Pool can hardly stop himself from laughing looking at Rachel Maddow, and I don't blame him. This is going to be an old school. This channel is After Show Carnage, but it used to be called the unofficial Tim Pool After Show. I was a big fan. Yo, Rachel Maddow's career, is it done? Like done. Her ratings have collapsed by 56%. Rachel Maddow has a $25 million check while her audience does not exist. Van Jones is pretending like CNN is on fire. They are doing better programming, but they're not on fire. People aren't watching. Let's go to Tim Pool. Timcast, he's doing all right. He's grinding. He's got multiple channels, over 1 million on each one of them. He's making bank over bank. He's got more viewers. Tim Pool on Timcast and Tim Pool on Timcast IRL and Tim Pool on the Tim Pool Culture Show or the Culture War has way more views in the key demos than MSNBC, Rachel Maddow, and Van Jones. Let's hear Tim Pool just go ham on them.
Yikes. Now we got Van Jones appearing on CNN. And it's funny because even when he's lamenting the demise of their medium, he's still lying about their reach. Van Jones is like, we're only getting 1 to 2 million views, and these kids are getting 14 million streams. And I'm like, my dude, you are not getting 1 to 2 million. Have you checked CNN's ratings? Yo, outside the key demo, it's like 500,000. And in the key demo, it's like 80,000. Now, I'm not going to sit here and disparage older folks, but they're not considered key demographic or the money demo. So younger people tend to spend more money, though I do think things will be a little bit different, largely because young people aren't having children the same way they used to. Historically, the key demo, which is just, it's like 18 to 54, but it's really like 24 to 54, I think, generally speaking. Basically, you're looking at young individuals who need to spend things. Well, a large economic driver for basically all of human history was children. Now that younger people don't have kids, they're, I don't know, it's going to change the market dynamics in an interesting way. Imagine this 50 years ago. You're a young guy and you show up to a job offer and they're going to interview you and they say, we need somebody who can build widgets for the company. And you say, well, I've got another kid on the way and I got to support my wife, so I'm going to need at least $40,000 a year. Of course, 50 years ago, that's a lot of money. And they'd be like, dang, that's a lot of money. I think 50 years ago, you'd probably be getting like 20 to 30 and you'd probably be decently well off. I don't know the exact numbers, but a 6-figure job was nuts. But you're a dude and you're basically like, look, man, I can't take the job. It's not that I don't want to do it. What ends up happening? Women in the workforce splits the competition and also reduces the likelihood of someone having a family.
Tim is absolutely right here. If you'd like to help out this channel, though, the After Show Carnage, please give a comment. Just that'd be great. I want to hear from you. Hear what you think. Do you like these videos? Do you not like this one? I'm hype about this Tim Pool one. Let me give you some context here, too. I want to make sure that you're getting value with the reaction. I did look up because I'm like, this reminds me of the historical transition in media that we've seen before. Going back to the 1970s, Walter Cronkite was known as the most trusted man in America. Whether that's true or not irrelevant to this. Cable news came in, so the network TV anchor influence went down. Then you had cable news. I used to love CNN. CNN was great in the 2000-ish era, or it was right when it started, I think, or at least I knew about it. I didn't have cable growing up. But cable came in, and it hurt the network guys. Maddow's decline in ratings, Rachel Maddow, she's a very smart person, just, a puppet of the regime. Rachel Maddow's decline in ratings is exactly the same as when they went to cable that declined the influence and ratings of the TV anchor. So we're seeing that come through, no different than newspapers getting flushed out by TV, TV getting flushed out by internet now. So now what is going to be the next step? I think it's going to be AI. Reportedly, there's reports that Joe Biden wanted to dominate and create 2 or 3 major AI companies and freeze everybody else out of the market, however they were going to do that. And I think it's because AI might be the next frontier. Everybody's using ChatGPT. Why wouldn't ChatGPT now become somewhat of a social media site? It very well could be. Let's get back to Tim Pool on the he's very good, very knowledgeable on the industry here and what's happening with MSNBC and Rachel Maddow and Van Jones. Let's go.
Now, this same working class guy with a family says, I'll take the job, but I need $30K a year. And they go, I got to be honest. Your family's not my concern. This guy over here is single. This lady is single. I can hire both of them for the same rate, have 2 people. And so this changes market dynamics. Now, as we enter the media space, we can rag on people like Rachel Maddow and CNN over their loss of the key demo, but I'm very interested to see what ends up happening in the long run, and I think we should prepare for it. Younger people don't need as much money because they don't have families. They may want more money, but they can be pressured by the business, the employer side of things into saying, well, look, I don't care if you want vacations. Here's what the rate's going to be. It also changes buying patterns. So commercials will be different, and we are going to see something dramatically alter in the media landscape. But as we sit here and we mock Rachel Maddow's failures and CNN, I must inform all of you that the big dogs are coming for this space. Rest assured, they're not going to sit there and go, guess I lose. Comcast, Disney, Fox Corp, they're all going to come after this space. And
but the thing is, and Tim's right, don't get me wrong, but how, Tim, what I would like to know is how are they going to do it? He doesn't really get into the details there. The only way they can come into this space is by hiring this space. Or censorship. That would be crazy under Donald Trump coming in if he can't. He's not a legislator, but he has a lot of sway. What I've been saying for a long time, MSNBC should be hiring your Francesca Fioritini should be on MSM. If I'm in MSNBC, I'm like, fire Joy Reid. I want Francesca Fioritini there. She's funny. She has basically the same take on everything and much more interesting. And let her go pod. She can go in the pod space and all that. Nobody cares about a Joy Reid pod. That you have to hire Tim Pool if you want to get into the space. To me, I don't know. How do you get into the space with Van Jones? It can't happen. Look at what Don Lemon. You can't get into the space with Don Lemon. Chris Cuomo, he's not even really in the space.
You know what, man? I look at what we've got going on here. I'm talking to Phil about it. It's like we're like an indie label. You know what I mean? Like you can have success, but what happens in the long run? We may be the kings of the castle now, but when Comcast and Disney decide they want to reassert their narrative dominance, how do we combat it? We need to own that institution. Something's got to give. Let's read a little bit of this and we'll talk more about the industry in a second, which I love talking about media industry. The Rachel Maddow Show has lost 43% of its total audience in 2024 since Election Day, averaging only 1.4 million total viewers since Trump won in a landslide. But that's like 70 and older. It's the biggest star on the network, has done even worse among adults 25 to 54, losing a massive 56% of its audience since the election, averaging only 103,000 viewers from arguably the most important demographic. Yowza! I can already see big shifts happening. December is kind of a wacky month because nobody wants to work and everyone's taking time off.
Yep.
But, guys, I got to be honest. I made a 10-minute video the other day that's got 200,000 views. Respect. Thank you all so much for watching, sharing the video.
I love it. And Tim's good. So he's good. Some people don't like when Tim Pool talks about the views and he doesn't really talk, and the money. He doesn't talk about it from a bragging standpoint. He's really very pragmatic and practical with it. And let's be honest, the dude can recall out the yin-yang, stories out the yin-yang, jokes out the yin. He's got the full package. He's like a well-rounded player who can do threes, drive to the hoop, and hit mid-range. So Tim Pool's like, I could talk about Lily, whatever her name was, the 100-man challenge Lily, and I could talk about her and get 500,000 views.
Rachel Maddow is getting $25 million a year, and she can't even pull anywhere close to that. I mean, that's less than half. Come on.
Yikes.
Timcast IRL does like You know, it's hard to give the exact average. I think the exact average might be like in the last month, 700 or 800,000 views per episode. It varies by month. Over the year, it's probably around 500,000 on YouTube per episode. We have big spikes with special events, but then I think like the raw average on any given day, we do about 350K on YouTube and then 100 on Spotify. And then we have 4 clips per day averaging 88,000. Sometimes a little bit higher, but we just set it at 88,000. In the past couple of months, our ratings have spiked. So it is interesting to see that as they are collapsing, we are expanding. But take a look at this. This video is fantastic. CNN's Van Jones frets fringe has replaced mainstream media. We're on cable news getting 1 to 2 million while they're getting 14 million streams. Indeed, Van, it's been that way for a while.
In the Philly suburbs. And I'm telling you, we are way off. The entire political class is way off.
Yep.
First of all, digital is a new door knocking. You got to understand that.
Yep.
We were laughing our butts off at Donald Trump for suspending his door knocking campaign and letting Charlie Kirk and Elon do a bunch of stuff online. We said, these guys are idiots. These guys are stupid. Then you start knocking on these doors. You know what people come to the door with? Their phone in their hand. They're in a 24-hour digital surround sound that has nothing to do with CNN, has nothing to do with any stuff that we do. I asked I got a teenage son, I asked him, who are the most influential people in the world today? I'm thinking to myself, he's going to say Barack Obama,
Why would you think
Jay-Z.
that?
He says, Kai Cent,
Sinat.
Aiden Ross, Jinxie, and Sketch. I don't know who he's talking about. I said, what platforms are you on? He goes, I'm on Twitch, Kick, and Rumble.
Rumble!
I said, that sounds like you need to go to the hospital. What are these platforms? I'm telling you guys, the mainstream has become fringe,
Indeed,
and
you
the
have.
fringe has become mainstream. There are platforms, there are people out there that are getting 14 million streams, and we're on cable news getting 1 or 2 million. And so there is a...
You're not getting that, dude. You are nowhere near. CNN's ratings are nowhere near that. Look, even Rachel Maddow, the star of MSNBC, is getting 1.4 million across the board. In the key demo, you're getting 100K, and you're talking about your teenage son. He's younger than that. Bro, these guys are so out of touch.
whole world out there.
They are really out of touch. And what's going to happen, though, going forward in the alt media? What's going to happen? Are these big companies going to give money to a Tim Pool? Or I think you could see it. Believe it or not, I think Joy Reid, I think Sonny Hostin, I think those types, their jobs are in danger. Rachel Maddow as well. That's why Joe and Mika are trying to pivot back to what they were before 2016. Anna Kasparian, others, they're trying to pivot. There's others on the left who aren't making a big deal of it, but they're also pivoting. If they're not pivoting, they're just covering the topics that the right talks about more than like what they normally would talk about on the left. What's going to happen in it? I don't know. It's going to be an all-out media blast and kind of warfare, informational warfare. You're going to see the Democratic candidates for the midterms want to use more podcasts. So how are they going to do that? They're going to have to be able to answer these tough questions. They're going to have to go on with breaking points. They're going to have to go on with the Young Turks. I don't know how else they're going to avoid it. Let me know what you think.